My name is Natalia, and I'm 29 years old now. When I was younger, I had a friend named Trevor who seemed perfect at everything. He was smart, athletic, and incredibly talented. He won every race at school and always earned the highest grades. Everyone admired him, and teachers praised him constantly. Watching him succeed day after day awakened something dark inside me. It was jealousy, raw and consuming. I wanted to be like him, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't match his abilities. I forced myself to smile and act happy for him, but deep down I felt small and worthless. The jealousy ate away at me slowly, making every day harder to bear. Every morning at school, I watched Trevor walk through the halls with such confidence. He answered questions effortlessly in class, while I struggled to keep up. During sports, he dominated every game, while I sat on the sidelines, feeling invisible. My heart grew heavier with each passing day. Why was he blessed with so much talent while I had so little? I hated feeling this way, but I couldn't escape it. Trevor occupied my thoughts constantly. I compared every aspect of my life to his, and I always came up short. The comparison became an obsession that poisoned my happiness. Eventually, I decided to work harder. I thought if I studied longer and practiced more, I could finally match his achievements. I stayed up late reading textbooks and woke before dawn to exercise. I pushed myself to the point of exhaustion, convinced that hard work alone would make me his equal. But nothing changed. Trevor still won the races and earned the top scores. He still attracted friends easily, while I remained alone. My efforts felt meaningless, and hopelessness settled over me like a heavy fog. My jealousy transformed into something uglier. I stopped wanting success for myself. Instead, I just wanted Trevor to fail. I wanted him to experience the disappointment and frustration that haunted me daily. I avoided him completely, turning away whenever he looked in my direction. When he tried to talk to me, asking if something was wrong, I lied and said everything was fine. But everything wasn't fine. The jealousy consumed me entirely, stealing any joy I might have found in school or friendships. My world shrank until it contained nothing but bitter resentment toward someone who had never actually harmed me. One afternoon, everything changed. I sat alone on a bench outside, watching Trevor laugh with his friends across the yard. They seemed so carefree and happy together, while I felt like a ghost nobody could see. I stared at Trevor and wondered why his life appeared so effortless, while mine felt like constant struggle. I wanted to leave, but my body felt too heavy to move. Then something unexpected happened. Trevor left his friends and walked directly toward me. I looked down, hoping he would pass by, but he sat beside me on the bench. The silence between us felt uncomfortable. Finally, he spoke quietly, asking what was wrong and why I seemed so unhappy. His genuine concern caught me off guard. Guilt washed over me suddenly. I had spent so long resenting him that I never considered his perspective or feelings. The words spilled out before I could stop them. I confessed that he was better than me at everything, that he always won while I always lost, that everyone loved him while I remained unnoticed. My voice trembled as I admitted how inadequate his success made me feel. Trevor didn't laugh or dismiss my feelings. Instead, he stared at the ground thoughtfully before speaking. He told me I only saw his victories, not his struggles. He explained that he studied obsessively because he feared failure terribly. He ran fast because he was terrified of being left behind. Every achievement came at the cost of exhausting effort and constant anxiety. Sometimes he wished he could simply stop trying and rest. His life wasn't easy or perfect. It was filled with pressure and worry that nobody saw. His words shocked me completely. I had created an entire fantasy about Trevor's perfect life without ever considering the reality behind it. I saw only his accomplishments while remaining blind to the work and fear that drove him. He wasn't some naturally gifted person who succeeded effortlessly. He was human, just like me, with doubts and struggles and vulnerabilities. My jealousy had distorted everything, preventing me from seeing the truth. I had wasted so much time and energy resenting someone who was simply doing his best to survive his own challenges. For the first time in months, I felt genuine remorse. What if I had spent all that energy improving myself instead of enviously watching Trevor? What if I had focused on my own growth instead of measuring myself against his achievements? Trevor sat patiently beside me, waiting without judgment. I couldn't find words to express what I felt, so we sat together in silence until the school bell rang. That night I couldn't sleep. Shame kept me awake as I replayed years of bitter jealousy in my mind. Trevor had never been my enemy. He was just another person trying to navigate life the best way he knew how. I had created an imaginary competition that existed only in my head. The next morning at school, I saw Trevor in the hallway. He smiled at me warmly, and for the first time in a very long time, I smiled back genuinely. It felt strange but wonderful, like opening a window in a room that had been closed too long. I began focusing on my own improvement rather than competing with Trevor. I studied because I wanted to learn, not because I wanted to beat someone else. I exercised because it made me feel strong, not because I needed to prove anything. Slowly, the jealousy faded. Trevor and I became real friends. We studied together, shared our fears and struggles, and supported each other through difficult times. He helped me when I was confused, and I encouraged him when he felt overwhelmed. I finally understood that life isn't about being better than other people. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday. Trevor taught me that lesson without even trying, simply by being honest about his own imperfect humanity. The jealousy that once consumed me transformed into gratitude. I was grateful for Trevor's friendship, grateful for the painful lesson I learned, and grateful that I finally understood what truly mattered. Success means nothing if it comes from tearing others down or destroying yourself with comparison. Real success is finding peace with who you are while continuing to grow, not for anyone else, but for yourself.